the garden called Bold and Minimalistic. Sure, that's a big word, by Complex Gardens. You can see the boldness and the minimalism, and that certainly is represented with a very strong Japanese theme that runs throughout the garden. I'm with Deirdre van Sale from Complex Gardens, who's put together another one of the great gardens here at Grand Designs. Sure, so all done and dusted, and here we are.
Yeah.
And
great.
are you happy with the final product? You happy with your garden look?
Very much so. Came out according to plan. Worked well. Very much.
Talk us through the theme. Where did you get your idea for the garden and the style of your garden?
Oriental's always been a favourite. It's simplistic, modern lines, and people are going back to that, wanting to take the fuss out of gardening, but yet still have a stunning garden.
What were some of the challenges in putting this garden together?
One of the biggest challenges was we built the deck off-site, just for a time saving of the show installation, and it weighs a ton.
Sure, okay.
So to move
get
that
it in here.
to get it in, get it placed, get it square, that was probably the biggest challenge.
And did things change according to your plan? Because if you're like me, I mean, my gardens change all the time.
Very much so. We've got to rely on plants, what's available, what's not, what comes in. So little hiccups, but nothing that's out of the norm.
In terms of the plant material that you used in the garden, talk me through some of that.
Oriental gardening has a very simple line. The bonsais themselves, they are star performers there, so we wanted to go with a low planting, not a lot of colour coming into the garden so that the bonsais remain the feature.
They do really, I mean, they stand out so beautifully.
Wanting to be the star performer in the garden. And then the bit of the interest with your fine texture of your liriope, contrasting with the philodendron xanadu, and of course the arums.
And that's quite a nice combination, those three plants. I mean, because they're all really great neighbours,
Yes.
and they do very well together.
Very well, so they're suitable for plant companions. And although a little bit high in water requirements, they are still all compatible.
But generally this garden would be in a bit of a shaded spot.
Very
So with a bit of mulching around it, good mulching of some bark or some compost, it's going to do the trick with the water.
Very much so.
Now, that beautiful pavilion area that you've got at the top there, your kind of like little hideaway spot, talk us through that.
The pathways lead you through to the deck, wanting you saying, come walk, come sit, come relax. So it's very much, you could take that garden, push it up a passage, down a south area where nothing wants to grow, and have a wonderful back south corner.
Oh, nice. So really you could take this garden and put it almost anywhere inside a garden space.
Absolutely.
The concrete elements within this garden are really cool. I love the yin and yang stepping stones that have just been raised above the planting. So they really do stick out, especially with the different colour pebble that's been used in them. And of course, groovy are the little balls that have been used around the bonsais. I mean, take a look at the one just on my left here. Now, talk us through the cement projects. I mean, it looks like you had loads of fun putting them together.
Yeah, we did. The yin and the yang, very much the principle of life and of gardening. Like that to come together. We did cutouts with polystyrene to get that form. Onto the lantern, again, everything from the hardware shop. Buckets fitting into different size, taking polystyrene to cut out the window. And then just setting the cement for a few days.
And the finish that you used, what type of finish did you use in that?
We did a slurry over the cement,
Okay.
then an oxide onto it just to give it a bit of a colour to tone and blend with the garden a bit more.
Very, very nice. And I love the bamboo little guys at the back there, the concrete bamboo.
Yes.
I never thought I'd say that, but concrete bamboo, yes.
Great idea, a little bit more for your DIY. Did need bonding liquid onto the sticks.
Yes.
Bit of a slurry on, and then painted concrete and an oxide cover over.
I love your little mulch around the ficus. What did you do there?
Innovation. Sometimes we've got to be different in the garden. It was a mix of a leftover mix from one of the castings, and we just rolled them into little meatball-sized balls, cement balls, and mulched with them.
Oh, they look fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
Anyone can do it. Get the kids involved. They'd have a brilliant time.
I like that. Well, I think it's turned out beautifully. I love the lighting, and really the ficus are the kings of this garden, and a great combination of textures.
But together, the bonsais and the yin-yang and the lantern, there's a very even balance that everything, as an Oriental garden should be. It's in balance and harmony.
Well, I think that you got the in-balance part just perfect. Very, very well done, and I look forward to spending a bit of time in your garden.
Brilliant, thanks very much.
We've had a look at Deirdre's amazing garden. I can't wait now to just dig in a little further, see some of the great plants. Later on, I visit the garden centre to find some alternative plants that you can use in your garden. Essentially, this garden is a bit of yin and yang. It's a creation using quite a few of the East elements. So looking in terms of design of the Oriental, you can see they identify with that. Well, it's pretty simple. The beautiful bonsai that have been used. This is a fig, a ficus bonsai. Now, I wonder how many of you folks at home have killed bonsai. Well, I'm sure there are many murderers out there, but let me give you a few quick tips on how to look after them. Remember, all bonsai need light, lots of sun. Don't take it and put it inside in one of the darkest rooms. Also, don't overwater them, because that's one of the main reasons why we kill them. And like any contained plant in a container, it needs to be fed. But let's get back to this garden. The bonsai has been used in repetition, so 1, 2, 3, 4, used to draw you right through the garden. And that, also the fact that they've been raised on these awesome plinths, just gives you the different height and playing with the textures, and that creates the interest. I love the use of the Nandina domestica, which is a tough plant, gets the berries, and in winter those berries turn blood red, and so do the leaves. And in summer, they are green. So you're getting that change in colour and of interest, of course. Now, Nandinas are a great plant because you're really going to battle to kill them. They can grow in narrow areas, great in containers, and if you've only got a pathway or an area next to the home that's literally 1/2 metre wide, you're looking for something to grow there, then try one of the Nandinas because they work like a charm. Also of interest here is the underplanting. The grasses that have been used create that height differentiation. And of course, the garden is as good as it is because as you're walking down the pathway, which works in different levels, and then you're rising up to finally arrive at this beautiful seating area under the Japanese pergola. And all in all, that's probably why it works, because there's an area of rest and calm surrounded by these beautiful tranquil plants, which really does give it that ultimate Zen-like feeling.